how to calculate variations, what to do after the opening, how not to blunder your pieces. Let me walk you through my whole decision-making process that happens in my game throughout a real 10 minutes game. I'm gonna play white here and let's just start. So that is a King's Indian defense, a very popular opening with this move d6, this bishop to g7, and I like this g3 idea because basically I'm doing the same thing as black, but my pawn is on d4, fighting for the center. Remember, it's the key principle in the opening to always fight for the center. And now I'm developing also my second bishop here, so it's incredibly active there, stopping some e5 ideas. And there are multiple ways for black to go. Of course, knight d7 and c6 is pretty solid. And my plan is clear. I just want to play in the center. I want to develop my pieces. Notice that I'm spending just one move on one piece. Try to never make two moves with the same piece. Always try to develop a new one, unless, of course, it's under attack. So yeah, now I have developed all of my minor pieces, and it's time to develop my major pieces, the queen and the rooks. e5, yeah, of course, always a nice move. Now I have a choice between taking it, going d5, or just ignoring it altogether. I guess I'm gonna just ignore it for now and continue my development, because if he takes, then I'm gonna have some advantage in terms of the development in the center. If he doesn't take, well, my rook is here against the queen, maybe creating some tension. So let's see. And now he plays a6. I guess he's not really preparing to move b5, he's just stopping the knight b5 potential ideas. And yeah, I can just play e4, a very normal move here. I guess that's the most active one. Not to allow black to go e4, not to lose some tempo with this knight. Then the rook goes to e1. And if he takes, once again I have knight takes d4. But maybe my rook is not that great now on c1, maybe it should have gone to d1 instead, after, let's say, queen d2 and rook d1, let's see. Still, well, it's pretty useful, much better than on a1, so it shouldn't be that bad. For example, I can just play d5 now, because it's gonna ruin his whole plan. His rook would be useless there. Alternatively, I could also play c5, which is a very interesting idea, an aggressive move. If he takes here, he takes there, queen takes, and now I have e5, and God knows what happens afterwards, because I'm taking there, here. I mean, that's just so crazy. But I actually like this variation. If he takes on c5, I can even just take back on c5, and then this pawn would be great here. I'm gonna get a lot of space. Maybe the only problem is this knight e6 move, which is really what he wants to do, and then it would have some perspectives. So I have a choice between d5 and c5. In every case, I have to be active here. I just don't know which one is the strongest here. After d5, the position will be completely closed. After c5, it's going to be just a mess. Yeah, let me go for a fun one. c5. Now he has a choice between taking one of the pawns. I guess if he takes nothing, it's not that great for him. d5 shouldn't work, just knight takes c5. So let's see which one he's gonna choose. Of course, before making such a commitment, you really have to calculate the variations. It's not the type of moves that you can just throw and hope for the best. You really have to make sure that it works for you at the end of the day. Or at least you calculate at some point and then you say, well, this position really feels great for me. I am sure I'm gonna find something there. And then you go for it. So I guess he did the right thing. He took on c5. Now if I take here, the knight will just go somewhere to g4 or to d7, and then my e5 pawn is in trouble. I don't really like it. So I'm gonna take it, trying to say that, well, this rook is not that great here now. Yeah, he wants to go to d4. I like bishop g4 move. And my idea was to play knight a4, knight b6, maybe queen to d6. Can I play queen to d6 right now? it is scary because queen a5, rook d8. Let me just support this pawn for now. And then I also create this b3 square for my queen to go. In case of rook d8. Yeah, now queen goes here. Now with bishop e6, well, I have to go somewhere, but he's not going to be able to go knight e6, which is, of course, his idea. So instead he takes and now goes to d4. That is a very good positional idea here, which I have to fight against. Maybe knight e2, just to block it all together. And now my bishop is opened here, which is great. And I just need to fight for the d-file now. Let's see if I have enough time for that. I have to admit that he's incredibly strong in this game, much stronger than his rating here, 2200. Okay, so I have to take. I have to take, because this knight is too powerful. Now the question is whether I play e5, but once again that's gonna weaken this pawn. So maybe I could just play rook d1 for now, trying to attack this d4 pawn. Yeah, the problem is queen f5 is there and he's gonna block everything. I don't really like that. But on the other hand, well, this queen would be against the bishop, which is usually not such a great thing. So maybe it's gonna work out for me, let's see. And otherwise I want to maybe double the rooks along the d-file and then grab this pawn on d4. Of course I have to be careful with this guy as well. Right now e5 might be an idea. Actually I could have played e5 and then e6. Okay, can I just take the pawn on d4 now? Or am I missing something? Hopefully I'm not. Yeah, some knight c5 ideas. Like here I have to take, and now knight c5 attacking the queen. Yeah, okay. But I guess I have rook takes d8, and after knight takes b3 I have rook takes e8 with a check, and then I recapture the knight, and I have two rooks and the bishop against the queen, which is fantastic normally. So unless I'm blundering something, rook d8 seems to be winning the game. So once again, that's an example of a very poor time management. Here he has almost 8 minutes, a lot of time to calculate the variations, and knight c5 is such a commitment here. Either he wins or he loses basically. So he has to calculate the variations before making such a move. And of course he has calculated this takes and then he wins the exchange, but rook takes d8 is another incredibly active move. It's a capture, so he must have calculated it, and apparently he has underestimated it. Well, unless I'm blundering something. So rook takes d8. If he takes the queen, like I said, we have a lot of pieces. If he takes the rook, I'm just taking back the knight, and otherwise I don't see any active moves for him. So okay, he's going for it, but of course in blitz it's not that simple because, well, the queen is so powerful, it can create so many threats and my pieces have to coordinate somehow. That is much more difficult, but still, it's a positional, a material advantage for me. I played rook b8 first, so the queen goes back to c7, a little bit passive here, and then I'm going to a8. Yeah, well, I'm gonna lose some of those pawns, that's inevitable, but I have to activate my pieces somehow. If I'm able to activate my rooks to the 7th rank, for example, I should be winning. How do I do that? e5, queen b4, e6, takes. Ah no, queen b4 comes with a tempo. But I have rook e3. Okay, let me play e5, because it's also gonna open my bishop. And probably I have to be a little bit faster, otherwise I'm gonna just lose on time. But now I want to play e6. And I have to be careful with his pawns, because I shouldn't allow him to create some passers, otherwise it could be very, very fast to run. h5, yeah, it's very good to play h4 here, to make some space for my king, and to stop this h4, h3 idea, which is very powerful. Okay, so now, do I have the move e6? I hope so. Don't see any reason not to do that. My bishop would be unprotected, but I always can go back. Or maybe here I can play rook to e8 immediately, connecting my rooks. If you're fighting against the queen with the rooks, it's always great to connect them so they are defending each other. Even if he exchanges the queen for 2 rooks, I have an extra bishop. That should be enough to win the game. And otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be just very dangerous here. I have 2 choices. I can just play rook e3, defending the b3 pawn, or I can play king to g2. But I don't have any reason to hurry, so let me just defend everything first, and then, yeah, maybe activate the bishop somehow. So now the king is secure. If you're fighting against the queen, it's so important to make sure that your king is safe, because now I have every opportunity to attack and I don't need to worry about this king. Okay, but the question is how I might be able to activate my bishop here. I have b4, sacrificing this pawn, and then relocating the bishop to b3, trying to give it checkmate. But of course, it's pretty dangerous. And I'm also really low on time. So let me try to be sure in my decisions. I want to weaken this c6 pawn, and now basically I'm threatening to win it somehow. Yeah, let's play rook c8. He has no checks, so I can just take it with a tempo. That's great. This guy, I guess, I also have to take. And now I have some checks, which is always great. Now my bishop is active, ready to jump if I have a chance. Let's maybe... no, I can't go there. Actually, maybe I have to go to the 6th rank. Oh, he goes forward, but now I have bishop e4. Check. And then the g6 pawn is going to be lost. No, king f5 was definitely a mistake. What's the best move now? f4? Isn't it just a checkmate? Seems like that, but king g4 would be also a checkmate. Yeah, okay, so that was a fantastic game here. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did, and see you in the next video.